Alrighty, welcome back to the Final Fantasy VII Aerith's Revenge Challenge. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very happy to be here. Last time you saw me, I was like, hey, let's try out Hot Swap. And then suddenly gone. There was no outro to the previous episode. That is because I got sick, really sick. I couldn't talk much at all. And I've been sick for the past week, so I've been Aerith's Revenge has been popping off. I've been loving it. You've been loving it. I've been getting messages from everybody about ideas and thoughts and stuff, and it's been like so incredibly, like such a huge blessing that this series has really resonated with a lot of people. And so I was like so frustrated with the fact that I got sick and couldn't play for a week. Luckily, YouTube didn't really miss out on anything because I spaced out the episodes. But in terms of Twitch, we haven't played in a week, and it sucks because I really wanted to play every day and keep the train going. But it was bittersweet because YouTube got a chance to catch up. So now all the YouTube peeps that are here are fully caught up. And secondly, while I was sick, we did a little bit of extra science. We didn't try Hot Swap or anything, so I wanted to save that for the playthrough. But we did some extra science in terms of Disc 1. So everybody who has been following and has left comments saying, like, I love the fact that the game has turned into a science project. I love all the extra science and stuff. I did a full science run where we just went through on Steam and checked out everything in Disc 1 skip. Just went to every town, saw what happened, did a bunch of goofy stuff, broke the game in a lot of different ways. And the final kind of conclusion to all that science was that we found a way to be one step away from getting Yuffie without any hardware manip at all. And we also got one step away from, Yuffie and PHS, by the way. And we also got one step away from being able to do Temple and getting all the Temple stuff, the ribbon, the Princess Guard, all of that without losing Aerith. So we were so close to getting like two big things that we wanted for this playthrough. And if you want to check those out and maybe put your own thoughts in as to how we could maybe figure it out, feel free. What I ended up doing, since I was sick and, I have my sick voice while we're playing and stuff, I ended up putting it on Patreon, but I made the first episode free. So feel free to jump over 48 Productions or patreon.com/48 Productions, not 48 Productions, but 48 Productions. And you can follow for free and you can watch the first episode for free. And then if you want to, you can join the Patreon. It's the lowest tier to watch the other two episodes, whatever you want to pay. So that's up to you. But I made the first episode free, so you can check that out. But basically, long story short, we're one step away from getting Yuffie and from getting the Princess Guard. And I want to thank everyone that's been, a lot of people have joined the Patreon since I started this series, at all sorts of different tiers. So, thank you so much. It helps so much. Absolutely no pressure at all for joining the Patreon, but if you do, thank you very much. Now, we have a lot to talk about, so I got to catch you up on the past week, because it's been wild. So, first of all, I'm on a new PS1. So, we had the issues with the laser on the other PS1, and I was like, Hot Swap is going to be an issue with this PS1 because it can barely read one disc. How am I going to hot swap another disc in and have it read it? It's probably going to be more the PS1's problem and not the game's problem. So I got out my old childhood PS1, yellow tinted and all, which somehow has a much better laser than my newer one. It's a tank. I've had it ever since I was a kid and it still reads this disc in one try. So that's the PS1 we're on now. We're also on a new upscaler because I had an issue with my FrameMeister. It suddenly stopped doing audio to certain devices. It's really odd. It sends audio to my TV, but it doesn't send audio to my capture card. It's very strange. But now we're back to the OSSC. So if the picture looks a bit different, that's why. The OSSC tends to be like clearer, but also like not clearer. Like it's grainier, but more sharper. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. It's sharper but grainier, basically. So if you notice that, that's why. So let's talk about first of all what we're doing in this playthrough. So I found out through all of the research that I did while I was sick that we need a gold chocobo. As soon as I go name Kate Sith, and then we do Junon, even if we set up the glitch, when we leave Junon, we will have the sub, but the high wind will be gone. And the tiny Bronco is also gone. So all we'll have is the sub. Excuse me. And so we will be stuck on this island forever. So what we need to do is we need to get a gold chocobo, and we need to park the gold chocobo here and leave it here. So that when we get done with all of that, we'll have the gold chocobo here. We can grab the gold chocobo, run all the way off the map, and go grab the high wind. So I have loaded a previous save from before we did the goofiness with Kate Sith. And now we need to get a gold chocobo. But here's the funny thing. We can't race. We can't race chocobos. Because if we go to Gold Saucer, it will start playing the scene with Barrett, and it will screw up our game moment. So how are we going to get a gold chocobo without racing? Well, as a lot of you know, there is a manip to get a gold chocobo without racing. Normally, people do it for speed. Like, oh, it's faster to do it this way than to do all the racing. We're doing it out of necessity. We have to get a gold chocobo without racing, which is pretty funny. It's always just been more of a shortcut to get a gold chocobo, but now it's actually something that we need to do in order to continue our playthrough if we want to get Kate Sith, which I think we do. It's fun. It's cool to see that we can get Kate Sith in the end. Not necessary for this challenge, but I think it's worth doing. We did all the science to figure out how to do it, so we might as well do it, right? So I think it will be fun to do this route, to try to get Kate Sith into our party permanently. And so that's what we're going to do. And that only leaves us with Yuffie. So very quickly, let me drive over to, well, let me think. Do we want to test? I tell you what, we left you on a cliffhanger about whether or not hot swap would work. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's just go do it now. Let's see if it will work before going any further. So let's set up a scenario for hot swap here. We'll see if it works. So while I'm setting this up, let me talk about hot swap real quick. So I did not make this clear before because, oh, do we have Barrett in the party? I don't know if we do. We might have to swap him in. We do not. Okay, we got to swap in Barrett. I was not very clear on like hot swap, how it works, you know, what it means for the playthrough, because sometimes I just kind of like think that everyone's thinking the same way I am, and I don't take the time to like stop and explain it. So let me kind of like take a step back and kind of explain this. So, first of all, why can we not just hot swap everything? Some people are asking in the comments, like, every time you get to a point where the game is the wrong game moment and doesn't know like what to do, why can't you just swap in disc 1 or whatever? Which is a good question, especially because throughout this playthrough, I've been saying stuff like the game thinks we're on disc 2, the game thinks we're on disc 1. That is my way of saying it to make it easier to say, but it's not accurate. The game has always known that we're on disc 2 ever since we did the weapon cutscene. The game has always been on disc 2, always thinks we're on disc 2. If we plop in disc 1, the game will say why, you know, like if I were to put in disc 1 and try to load this save, it would say, what are you doing? You're on disc 2. So the game always knows we're on disc 2. When I say the game thinks we're on disc 1, what I'm meaning to say is that the game moment is on a game moment that is usually on disc 1. So the game thinks we're on disc 2, but it thinks we're doing Cosmo Canyon, which is normally a disc 1 event. So that separate game moment variable is a low enough number to where it should be disc 1, but the actual variable in game that keeps track of disc is still disc 2. Does that make sense? So that's why we get the weird cutscenes, because the way the cutscenes work in this game is it basically just says play cutscene number 1, play cutscene number 2, play cutscene number 3. And so like on disc 1, cutscene number 1 would be the opening. Cutscene number 2 would be the reactor exploding. Cutscene number 3 would be Cloud falling off the bridge, etc., right? So if you're on disc 1 and it says play disc 1 or cutscene 1, it'll play the opening bombing mission, right? But if you're on disc 2, it doesn't then say play cutscene 14. It goes back to saying play cutscene 1, play cutscene 2, play cutscene 3. And so then it will play the first cutscene on disc 2. The reason that this game was split into 3 discs isn't because the code couldn't fit on all 3 discs. It was because the cutscenes couldn't fit on all 3 discs. And that's why all of the code for the game is actually on all 3 discs. That's why when we confuse the game and flip around discs and stuff, the game still works, because all the code is still on each disc. The only thing that's different is the cutscenes. So basically it says play 1, play 2, play 3, play 4, play 5. Then you get to disc 2 and it says play 1, play 2, play 3, play 4. So now when we're on disc 2 and we end up going to a scene like Cosmo Canyon, it says, oh, play cutscene number 5. But cutscene number 5, it thinks that we're on, or it's hoping that we're on disc 1 so that lines up correctly, but we're actually on disc 2. So now we're playing cutscene 5 of disc 2, which is where we get the weird cutscenes. So hopefully that makes sense. The game still thinks we're on disc 2, but we're doing a disc 1 event. And so if we were to do a disc 1 event on disc 2, it'll be like, oh, play cutscene number 5, but it's cutscene number 5 of disc 2, not disc 1. Which is why we get like the rocket blasting off when we shouldn't be, etc. Why we get this cutscene here, a disc 2 cutscene during a disc 1 event. Because the game still thinks we're on disc 2. And so that's the explanation for that. So that is why if we were to just throw in disc 1, you know, why doesn't that work? Why if we're doing a disc 2 event, or rather, I guess in this case, if we were doing a disc 1 event and the game soft locked, why can't we just throw in disc 1 to fix it? Well, all the code in disc 1 and disc 2 are the same. And so if we throw in disc 1, it's not going to change anything, first of all. And second of all, the game doesn't like that anyways, because it thinks we're on disc 2, or should be on disc 2. So that's why we can't just flip discs. It wouldn't matter. The problem with these cutscenes soft locking is that either A, the game moment's wrong, which is a variable that's completely separate from disc, or there's a character in the scene that's not supposed to be there. So like we're doing Cosmo Canyon, but Sid is in our party, which that doesn't cause a soft lock, but that's just an example. So that is why, we can't normally hot swap. Now, let me talk a little bit more about hot swap in general. So this is kind of the thing where this just is kind of something that doesn't even come across to my brain as something I need to explain to people, because it's just been so like obvious to me for so long. But I realize that there's a lot of people that don't understand this and are not from the Final Fantasy VII community, or just like don't follow the 7 community in the same way, like challenge runs and speed runs. And so this is not an obvious thing at all. So it bears explaining. So any kind of hardware manipulation is usually banned or looked down upon in terms of challenge runs, speed runs, glitch findings, etc. So even if we're not talking about a speed run or a challenge run or something that has a rule set, if I were to make a video and say like, guys, I found a way to revive Aerith, and then in that video I was opening and closing the disc tray and moving discs around, the general Final Fantasy VII community would be like, this is dumb. Which is not like something that makes sense to a lot of people, but to the Final Fantasy VII community it does. And so like, a lot of people don't know this, but like, we've known how to beat this game in like 10 minutes for like over a decade. We've known how to completely bust the game to the point where we can get Aerith back, revive Aerith, walk on water, all the crazy things you've seen over the past like couple of years. It's been known about forever, but it's all been hardware manip. There's a memory card corruption glitch that allows you to just walk from the train station, like the original train station when Cloud gets off the train, walk into the first room and you're in the debug room. And you can literally just end the game. And the game is like 3 minutes long. That's been a thing for a long time. But it involves corrupting a memory card. There's been a bunch of cutscene skips where you can open and close the disc and it skips a cutscene. There's been videos of people like walking from continent 1 to continent 2 without having a vehicle by opening and closing the disc tray. All this stuff has been known about forever, but it's never been documented as like an official Final Fantasy VII glitch because it involves hardware manip. So, and I don't know if I can really like accurately describe to you why that's the case. It's just kind of like taboo. It's like a slippery slope, because if we allow people to like open and close the disc tray and corrupt memory cards and stuff, then it's really not that much of a step to just use a Game Shark also, right? So when it comes to like these big discoveries, like figuring out how to revive Aerith, figuring out how to ocean fly, all this stuff is a big deal when it's found without hardware manip. Ocean fly was a big deal because it's all software. You can do it all from the controller. Figuring, the thing that was found on PC to revive Aerith, that was a big deal because it was not any hardware manip. Some people like commented and said like, this is save corruption, so it doesn't count, but it's not. They just don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, that's all like software. That's just turning on the game and doing it. And then this, of course, disc 1 skip where we can keep Aerith by skipping her death. This has all been software. We've not touched the hardware at all. This has all just been me pressing buttons on controllers. So that's why it's a big deal. So having said that, the reason that I wanted to try hot swap is only because it's our last resort. We've tried everything to get Yuffie. We also did that other science stream. And we got one step away from getting Yuffie. But at this moment, I do not know how to get Yuffie back. I know how to get Cait Sith back, but I don't know how to get Yuffie back. And so as a final, like, funny attempt, I want to try Hot Swap to see if it'll work. But if this works, which I don't think it will, but if it works, Aerith will have an asterisk by her name. You know, it'll be, we got the whole party, but we had to use hardware manip to get Yuffie. So, you know, just so everyone is, like, aware of that. Because I don't think I made that very clear. I think I just kind of said, like, well, we'll try Hot Swap and see what happens. But I didn't really make it clear that, like, this is the last resort just to see if it's possible. This is not a legit way of getting her into the party. You know, so just to make that abundantly clear to everybody, this is more of just for a fun experiment to see if it works. This is not, you know, she will always have an asterisk on her name if this works, which I do not think it's going to work. So, but we'll see. But yeah, this is just for fun to see if it works. So here we go. Where am I going to save? I think I'm going to save here because we're not going to use this. So yes, this is just fun and science to see if we can get Yuffie back. Because it would be awesome to have the whole party at the end, even if it is with a bit of an asterisk. It would be mega cool if this were possible to get to the very end and have the whole party fight Bizarro Sephiroth. Granted, it will not let us use everybody, but everyone will be available to pick from at least. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. It's a complicated thing that I completely understand is not normal. But hopefully that makes sense. Ooh, there was a little bit of a skip there. Maybe this PS1 isn't perfect. Hey, good to see you, Revenant. Glad you enjoyed Rebirth. It is indeed a ride. Alright, so to catch everybody up here, if we can complete Cosmo Canyon, then we could get Yuffie in our party. But because the game is on disc 2, but we're at a game moment that is equal to disc 1, when we get to the live stream scene, it tries to play cutscene number whatever, let's call it cutscene number 10. But instead of playing cutscene number 10 on disc 1, it plays cutscene number 10 on disc 2, which is the waterfall scene, which plays forever and soft locks the game. So what we're going to try to do is swap in disc 2 right before the cutscene so that it plays the correct cutscene. And then maybe switch back. I'm not sure if we should switch back or just leave it on disc 2. I don't know if we'll even get that far. We might just open the disc tray and the game just freezes and never comes back. Did I say disc 2? Disc 1. We're going to throw in disc 1. We have disc 2 right now. We're going to put in disc 1. So hopefully it plays the right cutscene. And then put disc 2 back in. Maybe. Change it while in a battle? You think that'll change things? I mean, we can't get into a battle, unfortunately. So... you had to do it in a menu. Maybe I menu before I walk in here? I was gonna do it like during the cutscene. But maybe I just menu here. and then try to switch and see what happens. Yeah, let's save in the one here so that like all the dialogue's done. I'm not gonna go too ham on this because, like I said, I don't think it's gonna work, and this is also kind of a asterisk anyways. So I'm not gonna go like crazy and try like every single possible iteration. But I do want to give it its fair try, because if we could get the whole party even with an asterisk on Yuffie, it would be really cool for this playthrough. It would give us a bigger reason to go get Cait Sith. Thanks, Swirly. Appreciate the update, man. See you in 6 months. Alright, we'll try the menu first. Alright, let's try it. No, I appreciated the meme. Don't worry, I appreciated it. Alright, let's see. I'm still moving. I feel like I should wait a little bit before doing anything. Let it spin up. Okay. We're still alive. We're getting somewhere. We're about to change feet. Okay, that's not good. Why is it playing that cutscene? Like, that is a disc 1 cutscene, but it's the wrong one. I wonder why. It played a cutscene without crashing, though. So this should be a different one. It doesn't have to be the right one. It just has to be one that doesn't crash. Okay, it crashed. That's so weird. Why would that happen? Like, I'm really curious. Why would it play... Oh, I did bring Vincent. I shouldn't have brought Vincent. I don't know if Vincent was the problem, but I shouldn't have brought Vincent. I'm going to leave disc 1 in to make sure it's reading it correctly, and I also want to see the game ask for disc 2, even though we're on like a disc 1 game moment. Uh-oh. Okay, wait, this is kind of a... Did that just take a long time or what? This is a good sign, because that means that it's just the disc not reading and not the game. But it did read it eventually, it just took a minute. I can't believe my old childhood PS1 is like such a tank. It can read these discs in one try. Yeah, that's really bizarre. So this should ask for disc 2, like I said. Even though we're in disc 1 game moment and doing disc 1 stuff, it's still going to ask for disc 2. Because like I said, it thinks we're on disc 2. And we are on disc 2. Okay, so I have a dumb idea. I think what we try to do is we try to swap now before it can initialize and like look for its list of cutscenes. Maybe we like menu now and try to swap out and then make it over there and see what happens. And then if this doesn't work, then I say we try to swap like right during the cutscene and see if that works. And then if not, call it. Take Vincent out. Maybe, yeah, maybe it has something to do with like the first couple cutscenes being the same. I don't know. I definitely feel like the way that the PSX points to cutscenes and the way that the PC version points to cutscenes are different. Also, he did not yell at us like he normally does. Oh, because I already did that and then I saved. Never mind. Is it going to be the same one? Yeah. All right. So whatever, I mean, whatever it's doing it the same way. Okay, so I guess our only hope is that, like, maybe we could get the roller coaster cutscene here instead of before this, but then the next one will just crash. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cooked. Disc 3 will definitely break. Disc 3 breaks pretty much on every cutscene because there's only like 3 cutscenes on that disc. Interesting that it gets that far, though. You know, like, pretty interesting how it does let you get that far. So yeah, I'm going to call this hot swap a bust. And like I said, even if it did work, it would not be the same. It would be an asterisk on her name. But let's get back to the main event, which is getting Kate Sith back. Which is not something we need to do for the cutscene. Or, not something we need to do for the challenge. But something that will be fun to do. Because in order to do it, we had to solve a giant puzzle to make it work. And we also need to get a gold chocobo without racing. So I get to show you guys how that works. And I've never done this on PS1. I did do it on PC to test it. To make sure I knew how to do it. But I've never done this on PS1, so this will be fun. The one thing, though, is that I need money. A lot of money. I need enough money for 70 Kraka greens, a Saraha nut, and 6 chocobo stables, which the 6 chocobo stables are like 60 grand or something, I think. We don't want to go to Calm. We're so like limited on the places we can go. Whoa. Come on, PS1, you can do it. So, yo! Live stream with the massive $100 tip. Anzro type with the bits. Thank you both. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go. I need to find a way to convert that into gil, I guess. Alright, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sell some accessories we don't need. Reflect ring we don't need. Kinda wanna keep it though. Hypno crown we don't need, but it's not worth anything. Yeah, I could just master in all materia, but then I don't want to go up too many levels and make things too easy. Fire ring we can sell. Gem ring we can sell. We are one step away from getting Yuffie. One step away. Water ring we can sell. Could sell some weapons, but like it's not really gonna be worth it. Yeah, we could have gotten 99 gold armlets and sold them. That would have taken way too long, though. That would have taken way longer than just going to Medeal and grinding for a minute. Alright, so let's give you... We don't have any doubles, do we? Alright. Go to Bone Village real quick. We're gonna invest in a double bracelet, because it'll mean more money in the long run. Oh my god, look at this. This PS1 is cooking. Not in the good way. It's cooking as it is gonna like catch on fire. It's doing its best. Is this my only all materia? There's no shot. Trying to think if there's like any enemies you can grind for money that's faster than just mastering alls. I feel like there's gotta be an enemy that has a 100% drop that's worth something. Cactuar, what do you like, morph them for a Tetra Elemental and sell it? We don't have morph though, so couldn't do that. Oof. What is that? Load time. Do they just drop money? What is going on? Good lord. Somebody call the YouTube tech gurus. What's that? What's that? Tech repair YouTuber. Somebody call Linus. PS1's on life support. Simon playing the right... Okay. This is bad. This might just be the disc. I'm gonna clean the disc real quick. It's so cooked. Oh my god. Alright. Let's clean it real quick. Alright. Let's hope that works. It loaded slightly faster. That's a good sign. You got that Tom yell in right when I hit pause. That was impressive. Just barely got that in. It's killing. This challenge is killing PS1s. The challenge is to get through it before both my PS1s die. You can see now why I just play on PS2. But this challenge specifically feels right to play on PS1. That is the challenge. You know, beat Safer Sephiroth with Aerith on the OG console. Make it truly like we did it as kids. So we're gonna suffer through it. We're gonna suffer through it. Yeah, sorry, I paused alerts because we're doing the YouTube video. Oh god, it's not better. We're getting preemptives every time though. Maybe I found the secret glitch to get 100% preemptive rate. Just trash your PS1. It is actually doing better. So we're trying to get money. Because we need to do a gold chocobo manip. And it costs a lot of money. It's hardware manip, doesn't count. Shh. It's like Minecraft speedrunning. If they don't know, it won't hurt them. You can't tell my PS1 is scuffed just by the load times. How much money do I get from these fights, by the way? I'm pretty sure you get a okay amount. Oh, 4K. And ethers. We're gonna have enough just from the fights. I won't even need to sell the materia. How's it going, Sergio? Yo, Lou, they give it the $3 tip. And Chrono, thank you for the insane 25 hundo bits. Thank you. I should be using Aerith's limits to, like, try to farm them for later. Well, there's a level up. I got banned from a chat the other day. Pretty sure I did nothing wrong and wasn't given a reason at all. I got banned for tipping once. That's probably my funniest ban. I think the only time I've ever been banned from a chat, or even timed out from a chat. It was like it was a really, really popular stream, and it was when bits were first announced, and the streamer was like, I'm sick of Twitch always making these changes and yada yada. If anyone uses this new bit thing, they're getting banned. And I was not aware of the meme, and I was going around like testing tips on people's channels and like supporting channels that I liked, and I liked that guy's channel, so I like popped in real quick and just threw down like 100 bits, and I got permabanned, and I was like, okay, okay, that's cool. Have a nice day. Didn't even get a refund. I mean, I don't chat. I never chatted in their chat before because they're a super popular stream, like several thousand viewers type of stream. And so I didn't really have any like plans on chatting anyways. And I still like the stream, so like I'm fine with them taking the 100 bits. But yeah. Yo, thank you, Zero. It is kind of funny. The only time I ever got timed out in a chat was from supporting the streamer. Guys to drop some more ethers. See how much I can sell these for. You don't need to know the rules, you just need to follow them. True. That's so true. Oh wait, I gotta take the material off first. Yo, thank you, Zero. I don't really want to sell both of these. I kind of still need an all materia. And these are not worth that much. I'm not selling those. They're really, like, they're not worth really anything until you master them. When you master them, they're worth a bunch, but they're, like, kind of worth nothing until you master them. I did not realize.